Has this ever happened to you? Notice anything strange? Two identical moments, but one just didn't work. For most of you, you most likely fall into this category, but some, like me, are victim to this problem. Lucioball is broken, and I'm tired of people telling me for years it's not. I'm not yet gonna talk about whatever the heck Blizzard broke this year. I'll get to that later. For now, I want to talk about what has been haunting me for 3 years. What's the difference with these two clips? Latency. This clip has near 0 ping, while this one has around 70. Some of you may be thinking that I hit the ball too early or too late. No, I did not. Let me show you. Here is our new test subject. Or well, test subjects. With these fellas, we will make sure it is not possible to not be booping at any given scenario. Each of them booping at different times, all with 70 latency, with no more than 0.125 delay between boops. Even with this much firepower, we cannot hit the ball once. Trust me, I tried like 100 times with this setup. Why is it like this? First, let's quickly go back in time and check how it used to be, back when it actually worked almost perfectly. In 2019, you could play with more than 200 ping and be completely fine, if you knew what you were doing. The background footage you see here is with 220 ping, and I'm doing okay. These days, you would never pull it off with this high latency. Let me try to explain how it works. This is theoretical, but it worked perfectly for me back then. You could say there were two types of balls in the game. One that is visible to everyone, which is the one that the server and everyone in the game sees. But there is another ball. Your ball. Its position and actions delay depending on your latency, which you and others cannot see. What this means is that during gameplay, you had to imagine a phantom ball behind the visible ball, and you try your best to boop that one. Once you do, after the amount of delay you have, the phantom ball's position will update the trajectory of the visible ball. Again, this is pure speculation, but it's the one that made my high latency gameplay the most consistent. All this worked up until Anniversary 2020, the event before Summer Games 2020, when Lucioball Remix came out. That day, I can only assume they either reworked or just simply broke something, and we are left with what we have today. Kinda, it's even worse these days. So, back to present day. How do I think it works these days? I honestly have no damn clue. I try to figure it out, but since the boops just don't, it's hard to understand what the true problem is. Although, there are a few things we can consider. As you may know, in Lucioball, you have two ways of hitting the ball. We've been using Soundwave this entire time. What if we use Punch instead? For the defender, it doesn't change anything. It's basically the same thing. However, if the attacker punches instead, our boop will start to work again. Does this mean punching works properly and Soundwave is broken? Not really. It's not the method, it's the speed. If the ball is too fast, you cannot hit it if your latency is too high. It isn't just because we punch. If we increase the power and use punch to attack again, it will break again. So that's my leading theory. For another test, let's cut out the other players for a moment. If we're the ones moving and hitting the ball, everything is mostly fine. Mostly. We can do all the wacky things we want and it should work. Until our latency gets too high, then it becomes unstable again. But what if we're the ones hitting the ball towards us? With a tiny bit of workshop magic, we can simulate it. I hit the ball across map, I teleport, and it doesn't work. The speed theory is starting to grow on me. While we're at the workshop, there's also a setting to modify game speed. Despite it though, it doesn't do anything. There's truly not that much more we can test. So using this information, there are only a few solutions. If we cannot hit a fast-moving ball, we have to slow it down. There's only two ways, really. One is with your body. If the ball hits you, it will bop off in some way. During this time, you are free to hit the ball. This is not reliable, especially if the match is hectic and or you have high latency. Either way, it's your best bet. Second way is if the ball hits a wall. If it hits a wall, it slows down just enough for you to hit it again. That's pretty much it. There's no other methods or techniques you can do to help yourself. Are we truly condemned to not being able to play this game mode properly? Not completely. We can do better than that. If Blizzard won't fix it, I will. There's one interesting thing we can do. In the workshop, we can create dummy bots, and we can program them to do stuff for us. We can make them face the direction we're looking at. We can make them boop or punch whenever we do. We can also attach them to us. You see what we're doing here. If we got 70 ping or more and we can't do anything, then the solution is to borrow someone who has 0 ping. With this trick, we can finally play the game again. Shots fired from other players can be intercepted again. It just works. As long as you account for a slight delay in before your boop registers. I'll be honest, it's not the best fix. Depending on your latency, your aim and such will be slightly delayed, leading to some shots that won't exactly go where you aim. More often than not though, this is a lot better than having nothing work at all. There you go, Blizzard. I fixed it in 5 minutes and I'm a buckethead. Surely you could do better than that. Oh, and this thing. Yeah, I got no idea. I found a very easy way to replicate it though. Simply hit the ball against any of these slopes. It will break like 90% of the time. That's about it. Good night, friend.